That's the house I want to live in when those people die at Armageddon. And you know, I've actually heard that said. It's not just a joke. There was a sister that coveted this large house that had a moat round it out in the British countryside. Kudos, it was a big house, it was beautiful. But, you know, whether she should have it because those people died from not wanting her disgusting watchtower is another matter. And why she should live in it, and why she thinks that entropy won't set in and it won't all fall to bits. You know, even within the 1,000-year reign. Well, I've got rubbish. How did you pass your time at the meetings? I'm going back to my childhood now, you know, I've done my little stint on being an elder and now I'm going back to my childhood. And the first Kingdom Hall that I remember, apparently I slept in it in my cot as a baby. It had these walls that were painted with gloss paint, sort of chocolate and green gloss paint. And in certain types of weather, what used to happen, the walls used to damp up and I used to draw. If I was sitting next to the wall, I'd draw on the wall, and of course my dad wouldn't be very happy about it. Damp, horrible, smelly places. Horrible old Kingdom Halls. Nasty places. Not just for the mental torture, but they were like a glorified toilet anyway. I remember sitting wondering, if the lights were to fall out of the ceiling, who would they fall on? You know, I was hoping that we wouldn't be sitting under the lights just in case it happened. They had these globe type lights, really old fashioned things they were. And the piano, remember they had one of these upright pianos that was given to the Kingdom Hall along with an old sort of bellows organ thing that had the candelabra holders sawn off it, and it was painted this powder blue. And when we used to go hall cleaning, you know, the free labour, I used to try and play it, and my dad would tell me off, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. People might hear you, because I was just interested, curious, that's all. But I suppose he wanted to keep up the good cult appearance. Shame, shame, shame. I used to sit in the meetings sometime thinking what it would be like if you got somebody to play boogie woogie on the piano, you know, and I imagine this whole little Richard style rock and roll stuff going off on the piano, and the amount of tunes that I composed in my head, sort of a 12-bar blues kind of thing, even before I learnt to play any musical instrument, was astonishing. I always wish there was a band on the platform as well. Status Quo, or Led Zeppelin, or some such. It always seemed to me that would be a far better use for the platform. I used to do a lot of drawing until such time as my feet touched the floor when I was sitting on the chairs. Then I wasn't allowed to draw anymore, I had to pay attention. What did I used to draw? Well, undersea divers, treasure islands, anything that was the stuff of exciting and exploration fantasy in those days. That was what captured me, interested me, kept my thoughts alive during those atrophying days of the Watchtower. But in the end, Dad made us pay attention to the mind-cleansing trademark of the Watchtower Bible and Crap Society. Perhaps he'd had, I don't know, counsel from other elders that if he wanted to be an elder, I had to pay attention. I remember he was a bit jarred off when it all first kicked off. The elders thing, you know, they had the congregation servant and there was the elders thing. They didn't choose him. Oddly enough, on the body, who was chosen? All members of a family. My dad couldn't understand it. He thought, well, you know, surely this isn't the way Jehovah works. Surely it's those with the right heart attitude. And my dad had the right heart attitude, but some of these others who were chosen were family members who didn't do any ministry hardly, like my dad did. Well, sadly my father never saw through the fact that it was a filthy, disgusting, man-made cult and run by men. God's Holy Spirit is further away from Jehovah's Witnesses than it is from anything else, if you believe in God's Holy Spirit. And there we are. How did I spend my time? How did I cope with those soulless, spiritless, dead sales-promoting meetings? That's how. Drawing and music. Guess what I did later on in life? So maybe going to the meetings helped me nurture some things that have been of use to me. Music. Ugh. Gonna walk in that? No way, man. I wonder if I can go around here. Yeah, let's do it. Music. And art. Perhaps if I'd have been allowed a bit more of an education, maybe, just maybe, I would have been able to get a bit of education in those subjects a bit more and be able to use them later on in life. But as it is, no education. Watchtower says no education. So there we have it, friends. My memoirs from being a Jehovah's Witness child. Hope you enjoyed them. I wonder if you did similar. Bet you did.